This is Bob Dan. Your instructors did a great job, but I just want to review a few ideas to make sure they got through. So let's start with the difference between innovation and improvisation. So to innovate, you're fixing a problem in a new way, okay? Improvisation, which I've found to be exceedingly common and very well done often in Tanzania, is a smart fix with limited materials or resources. So it is what we would call constrained innovation. Now, when you improvise, it's really important that you test your improvised solution for safety performance, which means you have to measure things. And that's basically what I was getting to in the initial exercises about filters. We want to see whether or not we can replace the cabinet filters with two different types of materials. And I'll describe later why we're looking at these two potentially different materials than came with the manufacturer. In some cases, maybe you just don't have access to anything like the original filter. But it's also important to understand the function of that initial filtration system. And that is basically high efficiency particulate air filter. That is the first stage of every concentrator to remove impurities, especially particulates. Now what I have here is a picture, what I have here is a HEPA filter, which is a commercial HEPA filter, room filter. And let's look at what's inside this. You'll find that it's very similar to the HEPA filter that is the initial part of an oxygen concentrator. Now this one is quite filthy. It has not been cleaned for a long time. That initial pre-filter here, let me remove it. The pre-filter is activated charcoal. Now we'll discuss what the activated charcoal is in a moment. First, let's look at the paper filter. This is the paper filter, and it's very similar to the filter that you see, the HEPA filter, going into the intake of the compressor. It is by far and away the thing that creates the greatest resistance because it has the smallest holes. The smaller the holes, the more resistance that you have and the more particulates that you capture. Let's contrast it. For instance, this is material, and you can see there are two aspects of the filter, a pre-filter, on a cabinet filter for an oxygen concentrator. Now you can see the pores here. This is a 10 pore per inch or 4 pores per centimeter filter. That means they're relatively large holes. The thicker 2.5 centimeter sheets that we had you test are 30 pores per inch or 12 pores per centimeter. Much smaller holes, and they are expected to have much more resistance and be able to capture a lot more particulates before you get to the HEPA filter itself. Why is that important? Well, let's look at the HEPA filter.